What's it called? Oh, author it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can author it. Yeah. Okay, I would see your name on anything. Okay, cool. Then I totally like it. It's just like, I think it's just more of a no, like when it, especially when it's work for their own administration, she can't. Even she can't right now. Right. She could if she can replace. She found like just try to get it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, then they would have to have this. Yeah.
They're really nice.
Oh, yeah.
But
What are you guys doing out there? Because I have we're adding things.
Yeah. Why are we adding?
I've not been exposed.
We knew it.
This one was one authored by the
like the kind of song that you're shaking hands, yeah, but it's not like kind of a yeah.
always a question.
Nonetheless, it's still a very great. That's it. You would not.
Well done.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Student Senate. We'll begin, as always, with the prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women. Blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Our roll call question this week was, what is your favorite part of spring break?
Happy business.
I climbed the mountains.
James Bear.
Here, I saw the Batman.
Battle and Slip. Daniel Silverwood.
Property.
Faith Woods. Nolan Lyon.
Here, I'm a forest son.
Abby Donahue. Colin Murray. Aston.
Here.
Daniel Miranda Clara.
Odyssey.
Annika Barron. Here. It's 7 hours for 30 minutes on the way on the train from LA to Chicago. Imani McClay.
Here, spending time with
McLean Farrell.
I'm staying here for fun.
Maddie Means. Emma Epstein.
having home for
Isabel Karen. Cooper Scholl.
You're on Zoom, going to the beach.
Benjamin Earhart.
Present. Sleep.
Abraham Figueroa.
Spending time with people I care about.
Madeline Kosaduki.
I'm here on Zoom. I would also say swimming and going to the beach.
Mary Griffin. Kayla Locke.
Here on Zoom, and I would say visiting Alcatraz.
Christian Yoder.
Here, I'd say swimming in the ocean.
Brian Kearns.
Here, golf.
Luke Blazer.
Here on Zoom, just spending time with some old friends from back home.
Lizzie Martin. Here is Veronica Slevin,
Here, and I went to Death Valley.
Elizabeth Von Vaughn,
Here and just having good food and not dining hall food.
Michael Jacot,
Here, seeing my dog.
Zachary Cortez,
Here, spending time with friends.
Will Kennedy,
Here, I gotta go to this really cool interactive art exhibit in Denver.
Martha Castellani,
Here, and sleeping 12 hours every day.
Mary DeBell,
Here.
James Burnett,
Roxy, sunrise is
Tony DeLuca,
Hanging on the boat with some friends.
Paul Stoller,
I finally got to see the Oklahoma drill live, like on the beach. Never thought I would, but I did. It was phenomenal.
Jake Lowry, Timothy Gallagher,
Just the warm weather. I mean, it's warm today, which is awesome.
Maddie Tupi,
I got to go on a cruise to the Bahamas with some friends in the Bahamas.
Thomas Davis,
Here, I barked at some sea lion. That was great.
Alan Gilmore,
I had a lot of my friends send me pictures of sunsets and sunrises. I got about 20 or 20.
Madison Nina,
here, and I will also say sleep.
Claire Sisso,
Here.
Going to the Social Security office.
Kate McLaughlin, Carolyn Cameron,
I'm here. My favorite part of spring break was going on a dolphin watching boat tour section.
Avery Webb, David Hong,
Here, watched a lot of middle school volleyball.
Okay, that was the extra context. Everyone's like.
Daniel Lau, Doyle,
Here, I actually got out of town and spent a week with my dog in the middle of central Missouri randomly. Thanks. She was not happy with me when I came back to work on Monday though, but she really enjoyed the week.
Oh, here I am, just appreciating everyone's spring break. Are there any approved edits to the minutes from last time? Hearing none, they are approved. Executive announcements, Caroline.
I'm back. Okay, people. Whole of the year presentations get pumped. Okay, it's time. We only need like 2 more people to sign up. The training, like as far as availability goes for like the Friday, so that would be April 1st. Most people said they were available at 2 p.m. If on your form you aren't available at 2 p.m., just like come up to me after and let me know, and I'll take you off the schedule. That's fine. Yeah, so we only need a couple more senators. Also, we've had some issues, things come up. So 2 of the Hall of the Year presentations have to be on the following Tuesday, April 5th. So I've added a question in the form. If you've already signed up, but you're available for those Tuesday slots, they'll be at 6:15 and 6:30 p.m. right before our last HBC meeting. Just resubmit the forms. And then if you haven't submitted the form, submit the form. And I have incentives today. So the next 3 senators that sign up, the first senator will get this lovely St. Patrick's Day bow tie or bow. The second person to sign up will get these lovely St. Patty's Day party beads. Yes, yes. And the third person will get a banana. It was the only thing I had. So, thank you. So please fill out the forms. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. Madison. That's the judicial council.
Oh, yeah. Judicial council officer applications are still open. They closed this Friday. The application is open for the judicial council vice president of elections, vice president of peer advocacy, and the parliamentarian. If you have any questions, feel free to email the J Council email. But yeah.
It's a blast. Would highly recommend. And then last, I'm going to turn this over to Alan to announce the student union formal.
Oh yeah. Okay, so look, I believe that a lot of folks in student union work hard, whether that be district council, FME sub, Senate, y'all work hard. And so in the spirit of celebrating your hard work, we have the biggest event of the whole year. So many people are jealous that they can't get invites to this. Think of it as like a dome dance, because we are under a dome. It's just known as a stepping center instead. Student Union Formal is this Friday at 7 at Stepping Center. The link is in the announcements for the agenda, so feel free to sign up, bring a date, whatever that may be, bring your friends, show them how the student union gets down, celebrate yourselves. And I don't know if you've ever seen a student body president dance. But she will not be seeing that this Friday. You will certainly be seeing a student body vice president dance. So that's an incentive. Do show up, do bring a friend, and pull up. Yeah.
Thank you, Alan.
No problem.
Any questions or up there? Moving into general orders, we have never mind. We have a fun set of general orders today with the Student Union Awards. So we'll go through each of these. Palumbo will be hopefully easy. There's one nominee from the Student Union Ethics Commission that we will consider, debate on, and then vote up or down. The other three have a set of nominees, as you all have seen, since I sent them out. So each of those will be considered on the floor, and then we will go into a vote. The first round of voting will be half of the nominees up to a maximum of 5. So for the Clover, the student Clover will vote on 2 people, or rather, we can just do 1 round of voting probably on the Clover. It's only 4 nominees. Unless there are added nominees during our debate, we can just do 1 round of voting on the Student Clover Award. On the Nancy Walsh Staff Award, there's a number of other nominees, so we'll do like half. That'll be, what is that, 3? So you'll be given 3 votes for those 6 or more people, and then we'll go into a final vote to approve the winner. And then for the O'Malley, there is a long list of nominees. You'll be given 5 votes, and then we'll go into a final round of voting with debate in between. Are there any questions there? We can suss out any questions as we go. We have Madison's working hard to get our form set up. So without further ado, we will go into the Michael J. Palumbo Award. David, would you read the nomination letter?
Yes. Members of the Student Senate, the Student Union Ethics Commission is pleased to present its nominee for the Michael J. Palumbo Award. This award, named in honor of its first recipient, honors an undergraduate student for his or her outstanding dedication and service to the University of Notre Dame Student Union. The nominee must also demonstrate outstanding character in the best tradition of Notre Dame, have faithfully upheld the Constitution of the undergraduate student body, and have performed services so as to greatly further the causes of the student union. It is with great pleasure that we present Thomas Davis II as the nominee for this year's Michael J. Palumbo Award. This year, nominations for Thomas poured in from both inside the student union, coming from no less than 4 different branches, and from outside the student union. The volume of submissions recommending Thomas for the Palumbo Award is significant in its own right, but the glowing praise of his nominators is even more impressive. Thomas's dedication to the student union and its constitution is immediately apparent to anyone who has worked with it. In the words of one nominator, he blew everyone out of the water for the simple reason that he felt the calling to serve, and I've never before or since met a better exemplar of service to the student union. One of the most significant manners in which Thomas served the student union came to the unprecedented arrival of the COVID-19 pandemic, which rendered much of the Constitution untenable. As another nominator stated, in 2020, as student union parliamentarian, Thomas bridged divides between in-person and physical Senate procedure and between the administrations of Elizabeth Boyle and Rachel Engel. After students were sent home, Thomas managed to guide the Senate through the final business of the 2019-2020 term. If anything, this praise is understated. The commission credits Thomas's leadership as the primary reason the student union was even able to function in the midst of COVID-19. This was not the last time that circumstances thrust Thomas into a position of even greater leadership than he already exercised. Last year, Thomas took over as J Council president immediately before the student body election cycle, by far the most intense and sleepless period for Judicial Council, without previous experience managing elections. In the words of another nominator, he never once complained about the work he chose to put in to ensure that integrity was upheld and everyone got their voice, both during and after this highly successful election. This year's off-campus council president, Thomas has continued to take on more than his share of work, contribute to the student union. Even beyond his work that's specific to off-campus council, Thomas continues to author legislation and serve on the Committee on the Constitution. Additionally, he has expanded off-campus council's budget by a factor of 4, initiating an increase in programming for off-campus students. As yet another nominator describes, Thomas's character has shown through in this position, as he created an initiative for off-campus council to put all of the funds towards local and Michiana businesses in order to foster a strong off-campus community and help local institutions financially recover from COVID-19. Thomas's character as off-campus council president, Judicial Council president, and parliamentarian, not to mention the numerous other positions he has held, is matched by his integrity, faithfulness, and service outside of these institutions. Thomas exemplifies outstanding character in the best tradition of Notre Dame through the friendships he has forged and the communities he has affected, including at Dunn Hall. Through the stories of Thomas's nominators from Dunn, and there were many, his strong Catholic faith and community ties are manifest. As one such nominator recounts, despite now living off campus, he is a consistent attendee of Mass in Dunn and continues to be an active participant in other faith-based activities. Another nominator praises his piety, saying that he consistently shows up to both Sunday and Tuesday Mass in Dunn, and adding, in all my interactions with Thomas, I've always felt understood, welcomed, and valued. One final nominator summarized Thomas's merits. I could think of no better man to receive this award, both in regard to his character and his meticulous nature in bettering the world around him. Due to Thomas's exemplary service, expertise, leadership, and character, the Ethics Commission agrees and unanimously nominates Thomas Davis II for the 2022 Michael J. Palumbo Award.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions for either David or Thomas? Abraham.
Motion to invite a question into debate.
Is there a second? All those in favor of any questioning and moving to debate, please raise your hand. All opposed? All abstaining? Cool. We're now in debate. What points of debate and discussion do you have?
I ask for unanimous consent to invite a debate into debate.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, we're in voting procedure. All those in favor of approving the nomination of Thomas Davis for the Michael Palumbo Award, please raise your hand. All opposed? All abstaining? Abraham, would you grab Thomas? Moving into the Irish Clover Student Awards, we have, I believe, 4 nominees: Alix Baisden, David Holmes, Alan Jomo, and Dane Sherman. I don't feel it's necessary to read them all because you had them in advance. And if we set that precedent, we'll have to read a lot more later on. So, are we in debate then? No, we'd be in question? No, we can't question.
Yeah, I mean, a happy.
Great. Okay. Okay. Are there any other nominations for the Student Irish Clover Award? Al?
Let's nominate Matthew Bishop.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for the Irish Clover Student Award? Hearing none, I guess that puts us in debate and discussion. Are there any non-voting members that want to be chair? Because I would prefer not to be. But great. There will be your acting chair for the fun of that.
All right, so anyone have any points for debate?
This is just a point of inquiry from Madison's. How's the voting on this working again? Are we just choosing one? Do we each get one vote?
I'm so sorry. I was like expecting Maddie to be able to help me. You don't remember? We were doing. I think because we talked about, yeah, because we did. I know you have more than one vote. We discussed this because we had checked the form to see if we could, you know, limit the number of votes if we gave you like the checkbox option. I just don't remember how many votes we agreed upon.
Any other points while this is going on?
So if we vote, is it like you vote for two separate people, or like you attribute both of those votes to the same person, or?
Okay, yeah, I'll clarify my language. You get to vote for two people. You don't just get two votes, you vote for two people.
Yeah, so it's two people, right? Everybody gets to pick their top two, and that will narrow it down to two people. There will be debate and then a final vote on the winner.
Okay. Yep. So let me get that.
Neither of us were expecting Maddie to not be sitting in this chair to do this, so.
I'd like to give a little context as to why I seconded Matthew's nomination. I was going to do it before Alan. But if there is ever been, thank you, first of all. However, if I were to want to give that award to anyone else, it would have been Matthew. I was parliamentarian. Matthew was judicial. Where I became judicial council president. A lot of the things that you affirmed in what I did was a product of the environment that Matthew set up. If there's a better exemplar of service leadership, I think it's Matthew. Without a doubt. I was frankly very surprised to not see their name on the list of nominations. That's not to recognize Matthew for the service that he's put in behind the scenes. Vice presidential role is, perhaps doesn't get the amount of attention, gratitude across any year. Judicial council perhaps also doesn't get the amount of gratitude that it puts in. So the way that Matthew has been able to touch so many lives in a way that is so humble so kind. The way he has been, Matthew's been a part of my experience has touched me very special. I think across the student union, Matthew certainly deserves recognition. I've been sitting in the Senate for a long time. Many, many great individuals be a part of the student union education, things that they've been able to do or tried to do. Matthew certainly sticks out as top of that list. So I would ask you to recognize that. I know all of you, but that's not to discredit the other nominees. David has put in tremendous work. I can speak to that as Vice President for Life and Judicial Council President. Same with Al. Served all throughout the student union. So vote how you may, but
Thank you, Thomas. Any additional points of debate? Oh,
One inquiry. I can't vote on this because I'm not a voting member.
You can voice your support if you want.
For someone.
I say, now would be the time to do that if you're gonna do that. That was perfect.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, I agree. All of these nominees are excellent and all deserving of your votes. I've known David the best, so I speak to his dedication probably the best, but I backing up with Thomas, or second with Thomas, said all these nominees have done a phenomenal job at serving the students. So even if it doesn't seem like anybody else is doing it, let's be on the motion, move to a vote.
any objection? Or all those in favor of moving to a vote? Opposed? Abstain? All right, motion passes. We are in voting.
You get a link.
Are we allowed to vote for more than one?
Yeah, we vote for two.
Oh, vote for two.
Yeah, so I'll give you about 30 more seconds for voting, unless. Oh, unless. Okay, with that, we have Matthew Bisner and David Hans as our top two. So we will be sending out another poll for you all to, or another vote between those two. Oh, sure. Yeah, does anyone have any points of debate on those two candidates? Hearing none, do I hear a motion?
As unanimous consent to move out of debate and into question. Move out of questioning and into debate.
Out of debate and into a vote?
Into a vote.
Okay.
Sorry, yes.
Perfect.
We're doing great, guys. We're doing great.
It's been a long day.
I'll
All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? All right, motion passes. We're in voting for the second time.
So you're voting in the second lane, correct?
I will give you all about like 45 more seconds. All right, just 5 more seconds-ish. All right, well, with that, we have Matthew Bisner as the winner of the Irish Clover Award. So,
Do we vote him when he comes in?
how do we
Is that how that works? I can. Can I? Okay, I'll go. But we'll tell, like, we'll announce who the winner was, and that was a secret, right? Secret?
Sometimes.
Yep, all right, cool, then I think we should probably tell him.
Okay. Erwin.
Thank you. Thank you, Claire.
We were literally lost without you, so.
Moving on to our Nancy J. Walsh Irish Clover Award. We have, I believe, 6 nominees. Are there any other nominees for this award? This is for staff. Hearing none, we can move right into debate. It'll be similar to the last round. You'll get half as many votes as there are candidates. So you'll get 3 votes in the first round, narrow it down to 3 candidates, and then we'll vote again to name the winner. Any points of debate on these nominees? Abraham?
I asked unanimous consent of item debate and into a vote.
Okay. Are there any objections? Hearing none, we so move. Is the form is being linked right now? Are there any voting members that are having trouble accessing voting links or anything like that? People on Zoom? I don't think you've ever went before. Last call for voting. Is anyone having trouble with the voting link? Now and forever hold your peace. Yada, yada, yada. Cool. So our three winners in the first round are Father Pete McCormick, Nat Wynn, and Nancy Michael. So we're back in debate and discussion. Yes.
To offer Dr. Michael, I think she does an incredible job serving the Notre Dame community, especially in the neuroscience sector. But something that's important to mention is how her research expands beyond the Notre Dame community into the South Bend community. Through her research, which focuses on adverse childhood experiences and how trauma influences mental health, she connects with like a variety of community organizations and connects the students with those organizations so that they can start to understand how to bring like the tenets of neuroscience into those community organizations. And I just think it's a really, really great way that she helps to connect not only to serve the Notre Dame student body, but also to connect the student body with the communities that we live in.
Other points of debate or discussion? Abraham? Are there any objections? Hearing none, we so move. I believe the voting link is in our agenda now. So take some time to vote on that form. Any last calls for voting? Anyone having trouble with the floor? Okay. We have to go all around. So there's a tie between Nat Wynn and Father Pete. So we'll have a lovely other poll. And while Madison's making that, what points of debate? Why are you voting for Nat Wynn? Why are you voting for Father Pete? Tell us, please.
So now I'm at a total crossroads. I'm personally voting for Niet. He was my second semester Moreau teacher, and I just know him from being in Duncan. And being a rector is a very difficult job, more than I'll ever know. And the way that he goes about it is so personal. He'll have my help.
I want to second what Paula said. Father P was a Stanford Hall and loved him to death. Wonderful man, like have zero issues with him. The reason I love Nat Wynn is sort of like he's like the jack of all trades, whether he's DJ Duloc and building community in that manner, or he's going around to give call pictures for all the different calls. I think as a rector, you can sort of silo yourself off to your own community. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but it's a testament to one's spirit, if I can use that word to describe it, it's just sort of how much he cares about this community, that he goes beyond Duncan Hall. But yeah. And I'm not voting because I'm kind of over. Kind of really close.
I'd like to close on that. Earlier this year, there was a alumni who passed away at CASA. who's a friend of my sister's, and Duncan Hall and Matt hosted a mass not only for the Duncan community, but for anyone who knew him, and invited back alumni who also knew him. And I just thought that that was a really great experience. He did a really great job of not only supporting the community in Duncan Hall, but also reaching out and making sure that other friends of people in Duncan were also supported.
Yeah, at a time where I think residential life and directors fire and a lot of issues over the last couple of years, I think it's important to recognize. Really make Notre Dame residential. I will second.
Other points of discussion?
I ask unanimous consent for that abatement.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, we so move. And the voting is in the agenda. So. Matt Wynn has won the stack award. So congratulations. We'll look forward to this. Moving on into the Frank O'Malley Award. I think we have about 30 nominees here. It is worth pointing out that Forrest Spence is on here as a nominee. He won last year. Just to put in your minds. And if there's no objections, we'll do the 2 rounds of voting, 5 votes in the first round, as opposed to doing 15 and voting half from there. So are there any objections to doing a first round with 5 votes and then that second round, hopefully to get down to 1? Cool. What points, are there any other nominees?
I want to nominate Professor Vincent Munoz.
Okay. Are there any seconds to the nomination? Second. Mr. Munoz is added. Are there any other nominees that you would like to add? Hearing none, we can move into discussion on these. What points of debate or discussion do you have? Oh my God.
I know it's a lot, but there's one professor on here I who this unmasked professor who said that. For context, I had it for an 8 a.m. class, and I actually enjoyed waking up every day to go to that 8 a.m. class. So that tells you anything about him as a teacher. His classes are super engaging and definitely super interesting. But even outside of that, as the director of the Nominate Institute, he also puts a lot of effort into speaking education outside of the classroom and organizing events and things that are open to all students, even those who are outside of his class. And that's been especially important in the last few weeks with the Ukraine crisis and war that has been going on, making sure that students are informed and that there are enough educational opportunities for them to understand what's going on. He's done a great job of organizing
So Zachary Kovalevsky. So you guys can read his little excerpts. Whoever wrote it did a great job, but he is an accounting professor. He's taught introductory courses. I had him for audit though. So it was his first year teaching like a really intense upper level course. He's only 35, but he's literally a genius. He is so smart. He did audit work and then worked at the PCAOB, which is basically the oversight board that gives us the rules for accounting. And he did research there. And now he's teaching. He wants to give back, but he's so smart. Not only was it his first time ever teaching audit, but everyone who's already taken the audit section of the CPA has said it was a breeze because of him. So I think that says a lot. Also, he is extremely passionate about his students. He went through a lot, a breakup, a move. We got his whole life story. It was a lot, y'all. But he's so excited to be at Notre Dame, like teaching students. His last lecture, we finished off all the like actual work, and then he talked about, he had a slideshow that he couldn't even get through because he was almost in tears about how thankful he was that he could teach the students, and he was so excited to be teaching audit. And he just thanked us for being passionate about the coursework and being engaging. He's really young, he's a genius, and he definitely deserves this award because not only is his brain there, but his heart is there too. And he loves Notre Dame and he loves teaching the students there.
So I wasn't sure if I could say this in the previous, but there was, because since I'm not a voting member, I wanted to petition to see if I could find a senator to nominate someone, and I wasn't sure if that was something I was allowed to do.
Who would you petition the Senate?
Professor John Liebertor. He is a music professor, and he's been my composition teacher as well for the past few years. He's been someone that I can turn to with any issue that I've ever had regarding music or life. And I think that he just has this way of really relating to all of his students, even though I don't know, he just is able to relate to us in such a really meaningful way. And especially with something as subjective as music, it's really hard to get someone that's able to really be understand your point of view and help you sculpt something that is really your art while still kind of conforming to the ideas that they might have for a certain assignment. But Liebertor has really helped me before through all of these assignments. He's spent long office hours with me, even when I wasn't even a student with him. He would let me hop on office hours and show him my compositions, and he would give me things to work on that he wouldn't necessarily do for his own compositions, but he was just so willing to always be there for his students, and he really puts students first always.
Do I hear a nomination?
Point of order. Is it required to be a voting member to nominate someone, or analogously to putting forward a resolution, can a non-voting member also vote for a nomination?
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. The nomination is made.
Thank you. Sorry for that. I wasn't sure if I could do that in the previous section.
Go for it. Other points of debate and discussion? Yes.
Yeah, so Eric Bridges is the head of my major department. And he's just a really great professor and a really great head of the program of liberal studies. I remember when I was just transferring to this school, he helped me a lot in figuring out how to fit this major into my course schedule, and he's just super understanding, and he's just a really great professor, and I really encourage you all to consider him.
I want to speak for Professor Vincent Munoz. He is a political science professor. He's also faculty director for the Con Studies minor. Along with that, he's also the founding director for the Center for Citizenship and Constitutional Government. He is the one that actually brought Justice Clarence Thomas to campus last semester, and his scholarship is amazing. His scholarship has been cited at the Supreme Court and by various justices multiple times in various Supreme Court court decisions. His dedication to his work and his dedication to his students is completely astonishing. I have never had a professor who is so dedicated to his work and is so dedicated to his students. He is there for you at any time of day, and he's absolutely an amazing professor. And it's an understatement to say that he has completely shaped my experience here at Notre Dame, but as well as my entire life career and what I plan to do in the future has been greatly influenced by this amazing professor.
Yes.
I would like to put a word in for Kristen Lewis. So she is a biology professor. I've actually never had her, but I do remember in intro bio last year, she subbed for my class one time, and I was like, wow, she is a really, really good teacher. And also, I've been a TA the past 2 semesters through the biology department, and she's been like an absolute angel to work with. She really cares for her students. She's super, like, if you have a problem, you can always talk to her about it, and I would definitely go with
Emma.
I'm gonna second Kristen Lewis. She's one of the best professors I've had in my time at Notre Dame, especially having her as a first semester freshman. Like during the last year that we had coming in during that time was very interesting, and she just always went above and beyond to make sure that we were all like succeeding in her class and also making sure we were doing okay outside of that. So I'll be voting for her.
Ben.
I'd be remiss as a student in the College of Engineering if I didn't mention Carrie Meyers. Personally, and to myself and to a number of students, she works in the dean's office. She's a professor with the first year studies program for engineering students. And then she also leads the Women in Engineering program. She leads the Grand Challenge Scholars program, the honors program for the College of Engineering. For me personally, she was someone I spoke to a handful of times my freshman year, and she single-handedly helped me narrow down what I wanted to major in, what I wanted to study, what I wanted to focus in, the opportunities I had in the college to pursue academically and socially. And she, she does that for every student. And like I said, she's very much someone who advocates in a field of study that is very rigorous, very challenging to teach, much less study. She goes above and beyond that to help first-year students navigate that complicated landscape of coming to Notre Dame, particularly in the last few years, and find what it is that's best for them, whether it be in the college or elsewhere. So she has been a great mentor to me, someone who I've turned to for advice over the last few years, and someone I will be voting for to encourage you all.
If I may, I'll step in support of Pam Butler here. Pam has been a friend and an amazing teacher of mine throughout my whole time here. Even helping me with student government stuff in relation to faculty senate and this, that, and the other. Pam, I first took a class with Pam during the COVID sort of semester. We were online, and bar none, the most engaging Zoom class I've ever had, because Pam consistently put in effort to check in with us, see how we were doing. We start off every class by going around and like, what's going on? How can I help you if there's something going on? Even if it's like family stuff, we can talk about it and see how that impacts your class participation. Using a ton of different modules and technologies that I had never seen since or before to keep us engaged in our coursework. And on top of all that was consistently knitting for and with prisoners at the Milledgeville Correctional Facility to sort of bring that art and craft into that space and teach them, as well as teaching introduction to gender studies at Milledgeville with the prisoners. So truly in all aspects of their life have been a really paragon of service and scholarship. And this semester, or rather last semester, went through a challenging surgery with continuing challenges this semester, and yet has consistently shown up. And again, checks in with us and is frank with us about how they're doing as well. So I think Pam's the best. I cannot say enough nice things about them, but encourage you all to vote for them. Other points of discussion and debate? Thomas?
We'll add one more, and I will say John D. lives in Dunn. He's also served back in the Senate in a way working on behalf of students rather than faculty, fighting for a cap on credits that students may take. We'll sparse on the details, but in the past, Jewel has done a work in trying to limit the number of credits that students take for a whole bunch of reasons, including college. And John is someone in faculty who also is in a way that isn't just in terms of thinking of himself in terms of the faculty member. Perhaps sometimes not disjointed. There are some members of the faculty who are that way, and John is the absolute opposite of that. To the other point, he lives in Dunn Hall. I believe it was Thomas Jefferson, developing University of Virginia. Who wanted to create an environment where faculty members live with students. That is how education should be fostered, should be cultivated. You look at the description for this award, it's about affecting undergraduate education and showing exceptional service. There is no better service beyond teaching, living with a group of 222 functions guys in the hall, as well as bringing education to where you're living. I think it's essential part of the Notre Dame residential system, and I know we're working more so to have more faculty present. I believe John was, and his wife Karen, one of the first, if not the first, but his education, past, present. So I will be voting for John. There's lots of great professors. I've never even taken class with John. I dropped his class because it looked too hard. So take that.
Other points of debate or discussion? Are there any objections? Hearing none, we so move. The voting link is in the agenda. Again, let us know if you're having any difficulties with it, accessing it, or voting. All right, last call for votes. You're good. Our first round of voting, the top 5 are Professors Carl Ackerman, Pam Butler, John Dayak, Zach Koleski, and Kristen Lewis. Cool. Someone just voted and made that not true, but our 6th person is Carrie Meyers now. So we have 6.
Point of inquiry, how recently is Carl Ackerman won? Because I've heard that he won pretty recently. He's never won.
In the website, in the resources that we have, Ackerman has not won. At least as far back as 94.
Okay, then I'll put in a word for, is it, once we get into discussion?
Yeah, we're in this.
Okay. I think Carl Ackerman is one of those people, and I'll keep it short. For those who probably a lot of people haven't had him. But I wish that he wasn't just a professor for Mendoza people. Because he's not only like a standout and maybe the standout professor I've had, but like he's a standout human being that I've had, where like he cares about people so much that like before you even get to class and he has to teach a quarter of the entire incoming class, he knows your name. Like he knows where you're from, he knows what you look like, he knows your name. And I wouldn't even really be talking about him if it wasn't for like my interactions that I've had with him outside of class. Where I've had incredibly kind, incredibly caring teachers that, you know, really want you to succeed. But the degree to which he wants that is something I can't even comprehend. Like he's just such a, he's such a selfless person, I think. And I was incredibly, I thought he was gonna be a guy that he's won it like 3 times in the last 5 years. So I didn't even bring his name up. But the fact that he hasn't is pretty great.
Abraham, I want to actually add on to that. I was actually in Mendoza my freshman year, and I had Carl. As I say Carl because, as you well know, he doesn't allow you to call him anything else. But as you said, he's completely selfless, and he really does get to know you for who you are. And I had him in whenever the pandemic was like at the point of its peak, and he did so much to help integrate every student into his class. He worked so hard. And as you said, selflessly to get to know you, to make sure you felt welcomed in his class. I ended up dropping his class because I changed colleges, but even in that process, he was the most helpful, the most kind person I have ever met. He like literally told me, he's like, I'm glad you're dropping this class and you're pursuing something that you're passionate about. If you ever need any help, like please come to me and I'm always going to be here for you. He's that professor. He wants what's best for you. And I completely agree and second what Paul said. I would recommend that you guys go for him.
Other points of discussion or debate? Okay.
So I will first throw Carrie Meyers' name out there again, so that I will support. But I also want to add on to the Carl Ackerman training. So I'm in engineering, however, I had Carl Ackerman. My campus job last year during the COVID year, I filmed some lectures for classes with Notre Studios, and Carl's lecture was one that I filmed. And it was amazing. And there would be moments where I would catch myself being distracted, actually paying attention to what was going on and not paying attention to like following him as he moved around. So just seeing how he taught students during the COVID year, let alone, that alone was pretty amazing. It's very engaging and very welcoming. So I can only imagine how great he is during the moment like this. A number of times he said, I would throw candy at you, but I don't want you to come up and get it afterwards. And we'll transfer it in the sanitary, hand sanitizer, whatever. And so you could tell he really wanted to do as much as he could and take care of his students, both their physical and emotional well-being, and make the class engaging and fun, make education fun. So.
I will once again plug Professor Butler. Something that slipped my mind earlier, and I'm glad Thomas had read like the undergraduate education and service part, because I remember when we were sent home in March of 2020, I was working with a bunch of people to like make sure people had like access to food and transportation as they got home after being sent home. And Pam Butler was like a ride or die in that project and like really helping me be effective in communicating with the right people and getting out to the right people. So like at all times, Pam is sort of focused on student health and well-being and flourishing. And then like just before this meeting, actually, I'm in another class with them this semester. I know I'm not just doing this for good grade, but one of like a hallmark of Pam's class is that throughout the course, you'll sit down with them multiple times to talk about like, how's the class going for you? Is there anything I can change in how I'm presenting the seminar, how we're talking about the material, what we're covering even, right? There's flexibility there. And so instead of centering themselves in their classes, really center the students in undergraduate education. I will also jump on the John deck. I've heard it both ways.
I love the big
Professor John. I worked with him in faculty senate, and his sort of leadership on first year course credits was the sort of impetus to the campus that are coming and presenting to the undergraduate student committee on that for the faculty senate. So great guy. And, every time I've worked with him, it's very apparent that he is primarily interested in what students need and want. Abraham?
Motion to invite debating into a vote.
Is there a second? All those in favor of ending debate and moving to a vote, please raise your hand. All opposed? And all abstaining. We are now in voting, and the voting link is in the agenda. We don't know what we're doing, but all right, do we have a limit? Any last call for votes? Now, forever hold your peace. I believe Carl Ackerman has won the Franco Math Award. Right, that's sorry. Okay, so thank you all for that. New business this week. We're also exactly at quorum, so there are motions to be made. New business this week. SO 2122 10A is the other part of the off-campus representation reforms coming back from ComCon. Wait, this is the sub, or is this the Senate? That's a. We just approved. Yeah, that's right. So this is the order to change representation in sub specifically to include off-campus folks. If there are questions, please let me know afterwards. SO 2122-21, in order to appoint a senator to serve the remainder of the term. Do I hear a motion? Ben?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of moving this to general orders, please raise your hand. We've lost. All opposed? All abstaining?
Do we get Mabry back on?
No, because she doesn't count with you here. So there are no oppositions. This order is in general orders. David, do you want to read?
Please dispense with it, but I move to dispense with reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
You check mark. Second, all those in favor of dispensing with the reading, please raise your hand. All opposed? All abstaining? Cool. Debate. Questions?
I asked none, consenting, I have a question to today.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, we're in debate. Are there any points of discussion or debate? Ben?
No drill, ask unanimous consent for that debate.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, we're in voting. Is there a quorum? Okay. 1, 2, 5. Was it 26? No. Okay. Pending some quick math, because of some vacancies, including the one we're planning to fill, it's 26. Okay, friends, we've lost quorum. Thank you all very much for trying, but we will do this next week. Have a good week. We can stay around and informally discuss announcements, but this meeting, for all intents and purposes. Other announcements?
Department of Sustainability Speak Kickoff is tonight at 8:30.
Sword Hall's fundraiser is next, not this Saturday, next Saturday. It's a kickball tournament for childhood cancer. There's posters around.
Another human being talk.
Last year we raised $15,000. The goal is $18,000 this year. Yeah, we can make a team of 8. There's free Chick-fil-A, and then that'll be 2 Saturdays, and you have to sign up for next Wednesday. So I'll say that again next.
Thank you. Other announcements? Kate, if you're still around.
Yeah, wait, did you say Gabe or Kate?
Kate.
Oh, okay, yes, I'm here. So Acoustic Cafe, time change this Thursday. It's 5 to 7 p.m. Right before the SAO St. Patrick's Day Festival. So that'll be a lot of fun. And we have giveaways there. Also, Respect is showing for Women's History Month, which is great. It's in Montgomery Auditorium at 5 p.m. every day this weekend. And I think that's all I have.
Cool. Thank you, Kate. Other announcements? Hearing none, there doesn't need to be a motion for debate. Have a good evening, everybody.
Is that tired?
We're making it happen.
We're making it happen. I'm a
This is huge for whatever holiday.
That's why I learned a lot.
Anything you want.
Congratulations.
No way. I'm definitely going to go back. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
My daily affirmation.